So a feature that's been around in macOS for a long time now but a lot of people still don't know about is something called versions. And this is something that works in apps. Particularly it works in all of the Apple apps, but a lot of third-party apps do it as well. As a demonstration, let's run Pages here and create a new Pages document. And in this Pages document I haven't saved anything yet. You can see it just has a temporary name up there at the top. I'm going to just type a line. I'm going to hit return. Now at this point I've done some work. I'm going to save it. So I'm going to do File Save or just Command S. And since this is the first time I've saved it, it's going to ask me what I want to call it, where I want to save it, and all of that. Just so we can see what's going on, I'm going to just save it in the desktop and I'm going to call it Test. And you can see here it appears to the upper right on the desktop, test.pages. Great. So now I'm going to go and continue working. I'm going to type another line and hit return. Now at this point there's a couple things that I could do. I could save again or I could quit. Now what happens if I quit without saving? You would expect back years and years ago that if I were to go to File, Quit, Pages, Quit, it goes away, but I didn't save. So I must have lost everything I did since the last save. But in fact that's not true. I'm going to run Pages again and in fact it's going to pick up right where I left off. And notice it has that second line there. It saved what I was doing even though I didn't specifically save. So let's type again. Another line 3. Now you might ask, well, what's the point of the save thing here? So I'm going to use it again, save. I'm going to type 4 and I'm going to save. Now the versions feature saves multiple versions of the file you're working on. So you could go and say File, Revert to, Browse All Versions. And you entered this interface. It looks a lot like Time Machine if you've ever used Time Machine to recover files. You see your current version of your document here and you see all the ones that you've done when you've hit Command S. So here's the current version. I can use this arrow to go back one version. You can see there's only 3 lines in that file. 2 lines, 1 line there. So I can revert back to any one of these at any time. I can just basically stop here and say this is the one I want, hit Restore, and it will revert to this version. So if you've made changes to your document and you realize that the old one was better, you can use this Restore function to go back to that version. You can do other things with it as well. So let's say if I type line 5, 6, 7, I'll hit Save here, type 8 and 9, and let's say I get rid of 5 and 6. Okay, it's maybe some paragraphs I wrote and I think I don't need them anymore. And I hit Save. And I think, oh, you know what? There was some text in those paragraphs I needed. Well, you can go to Revert to, Browse All Versions, go back to a version that had those. So let's go back to previous one. See, I jumped a little too far. There we go. There's the 5 and 6 there. And I can actually click there and I haven't restored anything. I still have the original version here. It just enlarges this a bit so I can see it. I can select that text, copy it, and then I can hit Done without restoring. It goes back to this file here that doesn't have those and I can paste 5 and 6 in. So you can actually grab content out of old versions. The key is being able to use that Save command, Command S. Every time you do so it will save a new version of the file. So say if I was working in Pages, every paragraph or every couple paragraphs or so, just getting in the habit of hitting Command S to save a version of it. Now it does this in a way that it's only saving changes. So it's not like it's saving a complete document every time. If you have 100 pages and you hit Command S a bunch of times after typing some text, it's not going to save the 100-page document over and over again. It will save what is changed. So you're not really going to add that much to the space that the file is using. This is handy. It works as Pages, Numbers, Keynote, a variety of different apps. You can just in that app look for that Revert to command right there and you can see whether or not that happens. A lot of people don't know that you can do this and you can actually go back to previous versions of stuff. It doesn't rely on Time Machine. It's not using your backup drive. It's storing all this information in the file itself and it just works. It happens automatically and it's been doing this for a long time. So you may already have multiple versions to go back to in documents that you've been working on.